Let's get this going. Hopefully you can all hear me well. Hopefully the music's at a good level. Happy Thursday and praise be the spiral. Oh, saw that on my back. There we go. I wanted to get on because I want to drink some cider. First drink in over a week now. So Copperbird cherry tonight. Thank you very much for the host, Andy Magic Knight and Price7. And welcome all along. Hope you're all doing well. So tonight, Cecconoid. We haven't touched this for 2 weeks. I was not very well last week with my wrist, so it's good to get cracking on this. Before that, we had Andy Roberts from Thalamus on the stream last time. We went through kind of getting the map together, which we managed to do. So I'm going to start kind of building the screens one at a time. And adding in anything we need to add in, fixing anything that seems to be broken. There's at least one CPU jam in here we need to figure out. I think it's related to the multiplexer. But we'll just crack on and get on with that. I don't really have anything more to add tonight before we start, so it's going to be a quick start. Let me get your points to you all. There we go. And I haven't put my little control panel up, so let me bring that up. There we go. And there we go. There's your quizzes for the night. Starting with a Jaguar game. Should be easy. Hey, Prince Phase, welcome. Hope you're okay. I really did enjoy doing the Mega 65 stuff. I think I'm going to make that a regular kind of feature on Tuesdays. I do need to get on with my own games as well for the Mega 65. Thank you for the resub, Cake Apocalypse. Very much appreciated. Cheers. Yeah, I do need to get on with my own games, but this weekend we'll carry on with the showdown stuff. But I do like doing the conversions, so I may try and find stuff to convert on Tuesdays, and it adds more to the library as well. So, wow, I have no idea what that game is. Thing is, there's not that many games on Double Dragon 5: The Shadow Falls. Wow, okay. I mean, no one was going to get that, would it? Gaz was close with Double Dragon, though. Unfortunately, though, it will need the whole name. Hey, Doxter. Oh, I checked on the let me just double check it again, see if it's changed today. So I checked on the tracking for your Nexus dock, and it is the last update was on the 12th, so it's like a week ago. And it sounds like it's kind of got stuck at the at the Norway end as we suspected. So I'll give it a couple more days, and if I've still not seen any movement on this, then I will contact them and ask what's going on with it, because it does say delivery date of the parcel should be no later than the 14th, but obviously that's long gone now. So but at least it's not. It doesn't say it's been delivered or anything. It's just in transit apparently. Last thing was exported by International Gateway on the early morning of the 12th of May, and not heard anything since. So fingers crossed it will kind of get cracking soon. But I know you guys were saying that in Norway the stuff can take a while, so I'll give it like another week or two, and then if there's no progress on it, then I'll chase it up further. Okay, cool. Right, let's get cracking on. I've been seeing some interesting stuff in the challenge as well. In fact, Jesper's just posted one at 3,000 cycles, which is very good. Too many bytes. And I see Jury's taking up the challenge as well now. So Interesting. So yeah, hopefully you guys do well with that. Let me just get my cooling on because it is rather warm where I'm sat. Yeah, on its way. Yeah, exactly. I was a bit worried about it until you guys said that it's kind of normal for things to take this long on it's on the way to Norway. So I'll just leave it like another week or maybe two at the most. But and then I'll chase it up and see what's going on. I can give you the tracking number as well. I remember as soon next time I check it, I'll remember to send you the tracking number so you can keep an eye on it as well. Um, Normally I wait till it's gone through customs, but I think it must have already gone through customs at this point. I don't know. Well, we'll see anyway. Right, okay, so where are we at with this? Let's take a quick look. Let's just load it up and have a look. Probably need to turn the music off, I guess. Oh no, it's already off. Fair enough. Okay, so oh, that's right. I need to turn the collision back on as well, so I'll do that first. Um, but we'd got the new kind of rooms set up and the layouts, um, the layouts adjusted. So the room numbers are different. So this is room number one now. Actually, this was always room number one, but this one was room 11 because there's more stuff over that way. So, um, and there was a bit of a crash around here. So there's a few things I would maybe like to look at before we go on. That's one, the fact that mine's set off. So there's the proximity detection is too soon. And also I notice a character missing here. So that's one thing I want to check. I do want to turn on the collision again. You can see it does the same thing here as well. These two set off. So the proximity check is too soon. We can maybe just skip it by one kind of frame, and it's probably okay. Uh, okay, so let's because other than that, I mean the things are. Oh, there's a bit of a multiplexer glitch here. Sure what that is. That music routine is so big, so irritating. That's not helping at all. That's really not helping. Okay, so yeah, we've got lots of stuff we can mess with anyway. So, oh look, there's another kind of multiplexer glitch going on here as well, where I appear if I'm far enough down the screen, let's flash over to the side. So that's another. So I think that's probably the thing we should do is get those little things kind of fixed and out of the way. Let's start by turning on the collision. So I remember turning that off just for testing, just to get through the map. Tomb Raider. You really like this Tomb Raider, Sid, don't you? You just like Tomb Raider, so. So going to get the Nexus one on my routine works. Cool. So there's a bit of a push at the moment to try and get um the emulator as close to the hardware as possible. Um, it's obviously it's a monumental task. There's a lot of work going on at the moment to merge the code from all the various kind of Vic 4 branches that Hanan's been doing. Well, I think it's just one, but there's a few other little branches here and there that need merging in as well. When that happens, the main branch will be well, I'm guessing it will be the developer or the master. I'm not sure which one, but there'll be a branch which we can then consider to be um, the kind of definitive branch to use. But there's a big push to try and do some compatibility checking between various things. There was a lot of stuff in the competition, or well, it wasn't really a competition. The game challenge last. last month where stuff worked um, on the emulator but broke in the on the real hardware. So obviously that's a really tricky thing to sort out, because in that case you've got a system where somebody's using an emulator, they probably don't have real hardware if they're using the emulator. I think that's collision fix. I'll check it now. Um, yeah, and so once they get it working on there, they assume that if it works on there, it's going to work on the real hardware. And actually, we found that in many cases that was not the case. So I believe Deft has worked with some of the entrants to fix those issues in the games. Um, and we're trying to formulate a kind of plan of attack for it, really, how to go about it, because we want every competition that I do that's yeah, this is looking all right now. Okay, cool. We want every competition that I do that involves the X emulator, the XEMU emulator, to be a little kind of step more compatible than the last one. And at the moment, that's not happening because there's so much that needs to be merged in that's taking time to happen. So what we're doing at the moment is we're kind of manually checking things on real hardware and trying to list these issues so that LGB and Hanand have got something to work with. But we're going to try and push towards it. So if anybody does want to kind of to help out with that and do some kind of really in-depth testing of stuff, particularly the stuff that's been released for Mega 65 rather than the Commodore 64 stuff. Although there's always room for C64 compatibility, so that's a different thing anyway. But this is more about taking stuff that's written for the hardware or written for the emulator and checking it on the opposite on the opposite thing. So if it's written for the emulator, checking it against the real hardware and finding some stuff. Yeah, raster rewrite is something I've tried to detail as much as I can on that. I know Prince Phase did some tests on my last stream talking about the raster rewrite buffer and found that the code that I wrote that works on the hardware kind of only half works on the emulator. So I've been discussing a little bit with LGB and Hanand about what that potentially could be, what the problems are there. There's obviously other things that aren't implemented, but the stuff that is implemented needs to be working correctly, and it's not at the moment. So okay, so what I want to do now is I want to check this problem where the proximity check for these is being triggered during the transition or like immediately when the player position is still considered to be on this side of the screen, which is why we're seeing that um, that mine explode there. I don't know if we'll see it anywhere else. Multiplexer stuff, I'm not so sure about. I might actually write a new multiplexer for this at some point. So find another one. Okay. Okay, we'll just do the first screen's probably enough to do this. So this happens because we have in the oh, I've got to remember where the hell I put all this now, because I definitely have something for these. Is it destroyables? I think it is. That has a proximity check for them. But I probably called it something completely different, and it's probably not even in here. No, it's a lot of commented out code here. I should probably remove. Um, let's do that. Got source control. Gone are the days when you need to have half your code commented out just in case you want it back at a later date. Yeah, it's fine. When using fill 25 items here, the emulator went crazy doing all kinds of weird stuff. Okay. Are you still discovering the snakes? I thought you'd got all of those. I guess not. Was that a discovery, or was that just one that you put on? It looks like it was just a. It was one you already knew by the looks of things. 4 of 6. I think the snakes has 10. I think. I think. I think it is. If these ports in C64 game dev are your fun projects, what's your serious dream project? I don't really have a serious. Everything I do, I kind of do on the stream. There's a couple of things I've done off stream here and there. Um, there's a couple of projects that I can't really talk about that I haven't actually touched for over a year now. And then there's Dot Cosmos 2 as well. So there isn't really anything in particular. It's I tend to do most of it on stream. At the moment, my most kind of fun project is my Mega 65 engine and Perseus. That's the game I really want to make at the moment. That's the game that above anything else. It's not a port. It's a completely original game on a system that I love. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Hey, old school coder, welcome. How you doing? Well, how's the BBC Micro stuff going? I'd love to code for BBC Micro is where I started. That's the first thing I ever coded. No, actually, that's a lie. The first thing I ever coded was a Spectrum. But BBC Micro is what I actually learned to code on properly. Like with the Spectrum, it was just kind of typing things on my mate's Spectrum 48K, and just typing things out of magazines and stuff. We weren't really understanding it. We were very young. BBC Micro though is where I properly learned how to program, at least in basic anyway. Yeah, Parasol Stars I definitely want to do. I'd like to get that I'd like to get that finished at some point. That really needs a dedicated artist to kind of help me out with that, because there's a lot of art in that, and I'd like to get it done properly. Um, the fighting game, I'm still not sure about the fighting game. I like the concept of it. I like how it looks, but it just wasn't as fun to play as I was hoping it would be. Um, so I kind of just put it to one side. Really, maybe I'll just release it in my repo as something you guys can play around with. So uh, just write an emulator for yeah, would probably work as well on the Mega. But no, I do want to do a C64 version of Parasol Stars eventually. I mean, I do have quite a big chunk of the code already written. It's really a lot of it comes down to enemy behaviors, some of the specials that you get in there, but the basic controls are working. The basic kind of um, the basic game flow works. It's just everything else. So someone did Bubble Bobble Emu on the ZX Next. Nice, nice. Okay, all right. So proximity. Where is that? There's definitely. Actually, let's start with the player because maybe the player update does the check, but I have a funny feeling it's not. But let's just check anyway. Actually, let's take a look at the game loop because the game loop might help me out here. So there is player control. Okay, there doesn't seem to. Oh, player pickups maybe could be. No, that's probably not it either. So I'm just looking in the kind of main loop to see if there's anything which screams, screams an update that would do these things. I don't actually see anything here, so I'm going to assume it's uh, maybe in the player. So let's have a look through the player. And let's see if I can find square root actually, because that might help. Because there is, there is a square root table, and it's not in here. Brilliant. there is a table that I use for doing distance checks, which is a square root thing. So I would hope that would be there. Uh, oh, you've done the spiral challenge on it. Nice. Uh, uh, thanks for the follow, Mayhem C64. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Cheers. I've got to say, this cider tastes. I wasn't that keen on the cherry cider when I first got it, but actually not drinking for a week. It's kind of nice. But yeah, I mean that would be a really good point actually. The actually having an emulator, not a core, actually having an emulator, because that would be kind of cool. I think the Mega 65 could do it as well with some clever code. It could definitely do it. Dynamic recompilation is one method that's often used to make things super fast, where you do kind of like how disassemblers work. You find definite pieces of code. Thanks, whole school code. I'll still take a look at that. In fact, let's have a quick look. Yeah. Nice. um, yeah, I like the idea of emulators that actually look at the code, find blocks of kind of like JIT compilers do. So what a JIT compiler will do is it will notice when things are running frequently or take a long time to run, and it will optimize that piece of code. Usually by kind of this is usually something you will see in like JavaScript V8 engine in Chrome or something like that, where if there's a piece of JavaScript that runs time and time again, um, or takes a long amount of time, uh, and as long as it follows a few kind of rules, like it can be like that means it can be optimized. So that means like no kind of dynamic types, like all types should remain the same and things like that, and proper declaration of types, no kind of anonymous declarations. Well, not anonymous declarations, I don't know what you'd call them. Um, uh, then what the V8 engine will do is it will compile that piece down to assembly language, so that the next time it gets run, it runs much quicker. And you can kind of do the same thing with emulators. So there was a Nintendo 64 emulator for years that had problems running things. Obviously nowadays it doesn't matter. The computers are so fast that it runs anyway. But back in the days when PSPs were running Nintendo 64 emulators, the games would run really slow, but dynamic recompilation meant that uh, dynamic compilation meant that the code would be loaded in and then converted into native code, and run really quickly. So let's dissect it. Yeah, I do want to do more of those at some point. I'm just kind of knee deep in the Mega 65 stuff at the moment, but Untitled Parasol Stars 68,000 baseboard. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna make it tricky. Well, I still think it's possible. I still think it's possible. Right. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, Anna. Let's have a look. So, looking for wherever this routine. There's definitely a proximity routine somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Unfortunately, uh, maybe it's in the pickups or something like that. Let's have a look. So we've got. Let's checking destroyables first before I go down. Kind of skipping through the code really fast without looking at it. So Let's try and keep an eye on stuff. So it's not in the remove item. That's hitting it. That's... Oh, this is actually drops. Okay. This is just the power up spawning from things. Okay, so it's not that. That's just removing it from the persistence list. Okay, so it's not that. Let's have a look in items. Pick up item. Add item. Or item. Clear item. Update. It doesn't seem to have any progress. What I'm looking for in here is a table of well, it would be square roots, I'd imagine, but depends. So this is what happens when you spend too long doing other things and don't remember. Entities, entities. Oh no, this is just the persistent stuff, isn't it? So it's not that. Power ups definitely have a check for. Yeah, this here. Work out the X and Y distance to the player, and then somewhere in here. Get distance player to power up. Oh, it's in, okay. So we've got a thing called table squares. That's right. The squares, not square roots. I didn't do the square roots as needed. Yeah, PC Engine emulator instead. Yeah, actually that makes it a bit easier, doesn't it? So, um, yeah, of course it was PC Engine first, wasn't it? So actually, it's probably not that difficult to port it to the Mega, to be honest, because the capabilities are very similar. It would need a little bit of work to change the view layer. But I mean, I've got a raster rewrite buffer sprite system which would work perfectly for it. It's got the speed. So it really would just be remapping the view layer to something different. And remapping the IO layers as well. And yeah, any memory mappings that need changing. But I reckon it could probably be done quite easily. Interesting. Oh man, that would be an awesome entry, wouldn't it? That would be an absolutely mega entry to the Mega 65. Oh, it is this one. Okay, get distance player to entity. Okay, so that's what we need to look for. Update mine. Here we go. Okay, so update mine is done probably in the screen code in that case. God, I tell you what, you've really got me thinking about that now, monsters. Really, really got me thinking about that. The problem is it's one of those things. I really, really want to do it, but I'm so annoyed about the Taito and their licensing. That it would have to be one of these. It would have to be one of these kind of. I can do the project, but I can't sell it. It just has to kind of exist, kind of semi illegally on the internet somewhere. Um, but I'd love to convert it. It would be such a good conversion. Because everything else about the PC Engine is spot on. Screen size, I mean, it's a bit more square, I think, the PC Engine. So, but I mean, that's not too bad. You could put borders down the side. So, yeah, I do need more lives, don't I? I do need more lives. I was messing around today doing something different yet again, just to see if I could do it. Yeah, I do need more lives. Yeah, I need to. Yeah, you're right, Amok. I need to just step back and say, no. Hey, Deft. Which game? Parasol Stars. So, Parasol Stars has a PC. Was written for the PC Engine first, and the PC Engine is probably about as close to the Mega 65 as you're going to get in terms of capabilities and CPU and stuff. I mean, it's very very similar. So I mean, the sprite system is different, obviously. But PC Engine has more sprites, but we have raster rewrite buffer sprites, so that it's really not a problem. Um, as long as the screen setup's right. So yeah, I mean it would be an amazing game to do. Really would be an amazing game to do. I know, maybe. Let's see. Let's get through this year first. Let's get through the games we've got on the go and see how far we get. Um, oh, oh man, that sucks, because you only get one chance, unfortunately. So it's you got it right, but because you misspelt it the first time, you missed out on it, unfortunately. Um, okay, let me just minimize that a sec. Right. Okay. So in screens, I'm assuming the update is called in there. I just want to check. I'm pretty sure it is, but let's do this one here. Update entities. Update entities. Yeah, it's going to be this, isn't it? This is going to have update mines in it. So register the entities. Update entities. Oh, we have a jump table. Okay, so there's a jump table depending on the mine updates. Ah, okay, cool. Well, I was quite efficient with this. I'm quite pleased with that. That's nice. Uh, Probably disassembly of it could be useful. Yeah, that would be. It's 256 by 224. Oh, see, look at that. I mean, that's perfect. Because even though the 40 column wide mode on the Mega 65 is 320 by 200, but you can shift the borders, the top and bottom borders outwards if you want. In fact, you can remove them completely, just like you can on the C64, but it's official rather than kind of a hack. Um, but you can also extend the screen to display more rows. So that's only 3 extra rows. So you could easily fit that onto the screen. If you just shift the top and bottom border by 12 pixels and add 3 extra rows, then you've got that resolution and a little bit more. So you would you'd have kind of borders down the side, but it would work. But yeah, disassembly of it might not be a bad idea. Some point. All right. So we know that the mines are updating as part of this entity update routine. So now what I want to check is this entity update routine always updating, or does it stop during the screen transitions? I have a funny feeling it does stop it. Uh, Worth it regarding border. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the game is completely worth it. In fact, what you'd probably do on the Mega 65 is put some nice kind of what do they call that when you put stuff around it, like a nice coloured frame around it, like a art frame. I forgot what they call it. There's a word for it. You do it all the time on the emulators on the Pi marquee. That's it. Yeah, thank you. I knew there was a name for it. Don't port commercial PC Engine games. There will be a PC Engine core. There we go. There we go. Oh, if I can play Parasol Stars on the Mega 65, that will make me so happy. You can expect a stream of me just playing that, to be honest. All right, let's give this a try. Also, I just want to remove the other music. Uh, Wait, what? Oh, because I've got regular expressions on. Cart loader, no. Update entities, no. IRQ, this one here is the one I want. Yeah, this music one here, I just want to turn off for a second. So what I'm looking for here is does the screen still change color? Um, yeah. Does the screen still change color when I transition the border? Sorry, does it change color when I transition between screens? In fact, I'm not even because there's no entities because there's no mines on this screen. There's no update. Same on this screen. Oh, so this is okay. Well, we can see exactly when the thing starts. So no, it didn't actually. It was you can see when it when it transitions, the flashing stops. It's only when the screen is finished that it continues. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what it's actually checking. So I believe the mine is going to do a proximity check against the player position. So that is here. We've got this get distance player to entity. Now, I believe that this function is probably going to have data that's out of date at a certain point. So it's going to be this player center X that's going to be out of date just for one frame, because I think what happens is player center X and player center Y are calculated as part of another routine, which is obviously happening um, too late, basically. Yeah, so it happens as part of this collision control routine, and that is going to happen after the first frame. So what we can do is we can make sure that if a screen is loaded in, we're going to reset a flag. So we'll create a 0-page flag for this. Let me bring up my 0-page and let me split this screen into two. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want the order of things to matter for this particular thing. So in this case, it's from the other file. Wait, what? What are you on about? That other file you had open? I don't know which file you mean now. I probably missed it. Sorry. What was the problem? I was in this file and this file. There is a problem in that other file shell you have on the far left. Okay. What sort of problem? What sort of problem are we talking about? I mean, is it gonna not compile? In the meantime, I'll just do this now. So, in fact, I do need to compile it anyway to see what the file left the program code. You have a colon. Oh, okay. Well, it won't compile, I guess, if that's the case. Won't assemble even. Throw some errors. It seems to be fine, so it's probably just created a label that doesn't do anything. Hey, Warlock. Yeah, I don't blame you. Mobile is a painful experience. I've tried a couple of times to watch Twitch on mobile, and I can't do it at all. Okay, so that works. Seems to work fine. It's probably just creating a label steps. But if you see it again, uh, so you're saying like down here on this kind of on the far left. So I'll just keep my eye out for seeing that. Or what was it? Entity code. If I see it, then I'll update it. Okay, so player center X is the one that's updating. So what I want to do is, first of all, I want to create a flag. And what we're going to do is this flag is going to be reset to 0 whenever a level starts, whenever a screen starts to load. Another file I went into. Oh god, it could be anywhere. Yeah, I missed it. All right, yeah. Well, I mean, it's assembling, so just let me know if you see it again, and I'll just make a note of what file it is, maybe. Okay, 0-page. Actually, 0-page looks fairly empty in the bottom half. The top half is temporary 0-page storage. Now, this we can't do anything on this because the cart is going to overwrite this, so we can't put it in here. This is always temporary. This is always something, and this is probably why actually, because it overrides these two values here, but also because these two values are going to be completely different So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in here somewhere. I think I'm going to put it. Let's see, zero page vars is here, and that goes all the way up to here, and then this is sprite indexes, particle clear space. Okay, so I'm going to put those. So that can be like that. It's fine. We've got a bit of space here, so we've got about 50 bytes here. We only need 1 byte. Right, so this is going to be our screen loaded flag. And the job of this screen loaded flag is to be reset on every screen. What will set the flag? Don't you start about flags, you. Uh, 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 sorry, catching up with chat again. So whenever we load a screen, we're going to set that flag. So that's going to be in maps, map loader here. So the value of the accumulator is stored in the current screen, and then it's pushed, and then it does an actual screen load. So I'm going to do it right here. And that means that we can make sure now that whenever the screen is loaded, we can check if it's just been loaded or it's been loaded for a full frame. And the way we're going to do that is in the game loop. Is did I have it? I thought I had it open. Maybe I didn't. There we go. So we have this jump to main loop, which is just going to repeat this section over and over again. And we've got a frame ready flag, which comes in here. But basically, we're going to make sure that everything in here can run. And then right at the very end, we're going to take our screen loaded flag. And we're going to add one. We're basically going to turn this on here. The bit 0 basically. This is music from Slicks. I like this. This game was awesome. Really, really good game. Very, very hard, but a very good game as well. And basically was the kind of birth of micro machines, I guess. I would assume it was the same team from Codemasters that went on to do micro machines, because it has some very, very similar things in it as well. It has the 2-player kind of get to the edge of the screen before the other player kind of thing. Okay, so all this is doing is making sure that when everything else is done, we turn this on. So ensure screen is marked as loaded. That means we can, for 1 frame, do stuff in here that only happens once on a screen load, or the opposite. In our case, what we want to do is we want to, anytime the update mine is called, here we can actually say, okay, we're going to load screen loaded, and if that's not 0, then we can carry on. Otherwise, we're going to do nothing. And all that's going to do is just going to make sure for the very first frame, it will never do an update mine, and hopefully that should prevent the thing from exploding when we first go in. Played the demo from Commodore. Yeah, me too. Me too. That's probably my most played demo, I would probably say, of all the demos that came out of Commodore format. It would either be that or the Ivan Ironman Stewart off-road racer was very good as well. Okay, let's give this a run now. They were always the best demos, weren't they? The demos that you could play with your friends that had a couple of just email about Elite. Yeah, I would love to do Elite. That would be really good. That would make a good stream game as well. That would make a very good stream game. Okay, so hopefully now the mines won't trigger. It's still triggered. So let's try on the other screen as well. Still triggered. Okay. So why would that be happening? So let's have a think about the path here. Well, actually, one of the paths is going to be wrong here because it is still going to fire the IRQ, I believe. So let me just try to think how best to do this. Okay, so I think what I'll do. First of all, did I get rid of that ink D20? I think I did. Yeah, this one in here. So I think the problem is here. I think this is always running. So what I'm going to do is I am going to so we're going to set the border color to that flag, so we can see exactly if that flag is being set at the right time. It's holding the Y position. Yeah. So what's happening is that the routine that does the proximity check uses the center of the player, and the center of the player is calculated during the collision routines. But obviously, when the screen slides down, there is no collision routine happening. So the player is moving, but the collision routine is not happening. So you'll see, hopefully now. Now you see how that stayed white the whole time? It should actually flash to black for a split second, but it's not doing it. It's staying white the whole time. And I think the reason that's happening is because this is resetting immediately down here, and it shouldn't. We need a check to see if the screen is actually scrolling as well. Thank you for the hosting now. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. So I believe there is a scroll. Is it scroll counter? I can't remember. There's something in here that I can use. I think it's that. Let me just check. No, it doesn't look like I'm using that anywhere to check. Let's check that one. There's definitely a way to check the document. I'm looking for like a load and a compare of some kind. That doesn't look like it. So one of the things we can't do is control the player when the screen is scrolling. So I'm assuming in the control there is a check. Where is it? There we go. See, look, this is where this is set, and it's these values that are the issue. So where is player control being blocked? That should be getting blocked somewhere. Cecconoid 65. I was actually saying to Andy Roberts and Thalamus that it wouldn't be that difficult to port this to Mega 65 because my cartridge loading system can just be. I can just add Mega 65 as a format to it, and it should load from a floppy instead. Or you'd load it all into high memory or something. I don't know, but there'd definitely be a way to do it. Okay, so there is a player control, but it doesn't do anything to stop you from moving. Is there something in here maybe that stops you from doing that? Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So it jumps to here if it's a normal frame. Otherwise, it does this scroll map and then jumps to frame exit, which is here, which does do this. So let's move that chunk of code, put it here. And then this is only triggered once the normal map has run through once. So let's try that. New series, awesome. How's my hand steps? It's good, thank you. Had the last of my antibiotics this morning, so that's why I'm on the alcohol this evening. I really can't feel it. There's a tiny mark where you can't see it at all, but there's a tiny mark where it used to be. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what the series is. You don't know what it's going to be. It's for you to work out. Now, I'm not sure which one. Oops, moves it up there. Wait, what? Hang on, I need to check something here. Let me just move this up here. Let me open this, move this up as well. So I just want to check something because I'm not entirely sure what happened there. And I just want to check that I've got something in here. Okay. Oh, don't tell me I didn't include them. Maybe I did. Oh, shit. Oh, fudge. I don't have them all in there. Do you know what? I'm gonna restart the overlay just to sort that out because I'm not happy with that. So give me a sec. Overlay is gonna restart now. Because at least one of the things you typed there should have appeared and it didn't. So I'm gonna leave it. So there you go. Oh, and now the freaking background's broken. Whenever I do a restart, the timer breaks. It's really annoying. See what happens if I start the races again. I may have just broken the background thing, but you might have to guess guess the timer, unfortunately, because I don't know what's going on there. This always happens when I restart. If I restart the overlay, it just does that. I have to actually quit OBS, and I'm not going to do that. Oh, but you see, again, it didn't do. Still triggering that. Okay, so it's still an issue here, but I'm also noticing it's not filling in that background. It's not setting this value properly. So it's like it's still hitting this piece of code here when it should be hitting this piece of code and then exiting. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Yeah, I've completely ruined the background. So you're gonna have to set a timer in your head or something to work out what the timer. I don't know why the timers break when I do this. It's a bug I have to look into. I'm not going to restart OBS for this, so it's my own fault. I didn't do a re. So what happens is I put all the backgrounds into a folder, and then I have a script which generates a list that the game can that the quiz can load in. Um, so yeah, it seems like that has kind of So I've rebuilt the list, and that's fine. It added the missing images in. Um, but um, it's kind of broken the timers, yeah. So yeah, good luck timing it now. Okay, so for some reason this is not being set, and I don't know why. Map loader should be resetting it in here, but it's like it's not doing. Let's try moving this somewhere else just for a second. Okay, there's definitely no other place where that would be, right? We could maybe do it in the scroll instead. Scroll jump table is here. So we did it like this. Then every time the screen starts scrolling, this would get reset. Then that's the idea anyway. Yeah, there we go. Engage. So yeah, we just have to set set a little timer in your heads for this. Okay, so there you go. You see the border is going black now while we're scrolling, which is exactly what I want. And the mine isn't exploding down there. So that's perfect. That's doing exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but fixes the mines down there as well. I just want to check the position. So when I come into a screen, yeah, I think that's right. I can't remember if it was just a little bit too far though. Might have to adjust them as well, but I think for now it's all right. But okay, cool. Let's get rid of that border increment. That's working as I want it to work now. Uh, so that's that there. Cool. All right. Yeah, it is a little bit far. I need to test it against the test it against the original, but for now I'll just leave it as it is, and I will. Actually, no. Let's do that now. Actually, let's find out where that is. Uh, so we have the scroll screen. I think this is in the map loader because it scrolls the map and then shifts the player. And if I remember rightly, yeah, B shift. Where is it getting that from? Oh God. Tweak devices here. To oh God's sake. Magic numbers or what? Oh, okay. So this is a fractional shift. Okay, so let's try. So if I decrease this value here, so if I just do that, right, let's see what happens. I should move way more. I mean, it's obviously going to move too much now, but in fact, let me reduce that to 10. Let's increase it to 10 instead. At least I put a comment to saying tweak the devices. I didn't just randomly hope that I'd remember that. Because I think the point here was to allow you to move into another screen and then immediately move down as well. So this is top bottom, isn't it? So let's go down here. Oh no, not enough. So it obviously has to be enough so that you move beyond the kind of screen switch boundary. Really looking forward to getting a showdown working this weekend. Got to say. Okay, yes, it's these values in here that I can change. But the problem was, I think that it was to allow you to go up and then immediately go this way. But I don't think that's. I need to check it on the original game actually. Let me see if I've got it installed. I don't think I've got it installed anymore though. That's the thing. Um, so let's find a video of it instead. I need like a full gameplay thing, don't I? So okay, yeah, that'll do. Switch gameplay will be enough. So just need to look at exactly. In fact, if I pause it, can I advance it by? Yeah, there we go. I can advance it by a couple of pixels at a time, a couple of frames at a time. I see it does move. Ah, but the player can move at the same time. That's the difference here. Oh no, it is actually okay. It is actually. It leaves you exactly one tile inwards. So this actually does need to be around about this value, but I'm gonna adjust it slightly and see if I can get it spot on. And we'll do the same on the horizontal as well. So it's I do remember having this conversation actually about what it does. So what happens is when you enter a screen, if I just nudge into the screen like that, it should leave me in a position where I can immediately move up and down and not end up stuck up on this. But you see, it's moved me just a little bit too far. So I just need to be moved slightly back, like probably 1 or 2 pixels back. But it's going to be the same here as well. So when we move down, I mean, in this case, I can't anyway because the wall's there. But when I move up, I should be able to move immediately this way. It's a little bit strange, but yeah, okay. I think it's really funny watching you try and guess what this is now. I like it. I extra like it because the time is knackered, so you have to also remember if you were right on if you were in the right time. So okay, let's try 12.25, and let's try reducing this a little bit as well. Well, actually, let's just look at what the original was. Maybe we were spot on with the original. Um, let's try reducing this ever so slightly. Maybe it was as good as I could get it at the time. So the reason this is a little bit weird is because actually, why is it times 256? Screen edge right, screen edge top. I'm not sure why that's there. Well, or whatever. It's what happens when you put magic numbers in and don't remember why, and then months later. Yeah, it is a 16-bit value. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Andy Magic Knight. Perfect. I'm gonna give you 5 points for that for reminding me. Not that you need any more points, but uh, oh god, I can't even read that. Oh, I can't remember. I definitely remember that, but I can't remember what it's for. So is that a dwarf reference? Ah, Monty Python. Ah, yes, yes, yes. I knew. I definitely remember the biscuit barrel on the end. That's what I remembered. Flim blim. Yeah, I do remember now. God damn it. Yeah. Okay, so I've just reduced this ever so slightly, and I can move in there. Let's. Okay, still got like 2 pixels or so there, so I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna give this a try here. See how far. Oh, that's actually spot on. I can't move at all. Uh, it seems like there's a difference between between up and down in terms of how far it moves me. Um, so that could be something I have to adjust, but it's close enough, I think. I'll leave that for now. If it becomes a problem in terms of like playing the game, then I'll tweak it some more. But I think it's probably right. Uh, it made a hole at the bottom. Now, yes, I know. I need to work that out. I think that's to do with particles. In fact, let's take a look at that now. Then let's see if we can replicate that. That's what I want to do. I want to sort as many of the bugs as we can now and kind of refamiliarize myself with the code. So I think what happens here is when you move between screens, so you've got these particles on the screen, but when you move between screens, what happens? One of the things the particles does is it creates a list um, in fact, you can see it in zero page here. So it creates this particle clear space. And what this is just a list of screen addresses basically that it needs to clear when it's finished. And so what I think is happening is even though the particles are being removed from the screen before we move into the next screen, I don't think this clear space is being set properly, being cleared properly. And so what happens is sometimes you can get into a situation where a particle, like if I get particles running across the bottom like so, and then jump in here. No, not quite. Okay, let me try and get them moving all the way over here. Yeah, there we go. So you'll see if I got a particle that's in this position here, then when I move down to the bottom, that screen's clear space here is being called. So these values here are being set. So I need to figure out if I need to use these, if I need to clear these when I clear the particles, if there's a way to do that. Hopefully there is. But yeah, I can definitely replicate that now. That's kind of good. That would also be a problem, actually, thinking about it. If I get particles in this gap here and then go down, there's a chance that just the right place. It's not doing it now, but I'm sure I've had them delete down there as well. If they're in just the right place, they'll delete a bit of this instead. So come on, you'll figure it out in a minute. It's kind of obvious when you think about it. It's kind of obvious when you think about it. You've got to know. You do have to know a little bit of the history of Star Trek. Oh, we need to figure out if that should happen or not. Like, does proximity should mine still explode through the wall? Hmm. They all slept with data. See, the problem is now you don't know. You don't know if the timer's gone or not here. So, thank you for the resub, TLMR, GVF. Very much appreciated. I hope you're having a good night. No, that was a resub, Warlock. One ahead of you. Right, I've drank my cider now. I'm not going to have another. I do have more, but I'm not going to drink another one. I have a bottle of water to drink instead. I've got to take it easy. Put me out of a job. It's all right. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it very much. Thank you. And you're not often wrong. In fact, I think that's the first time you've been wrong. So, yeah, okay. Okay, right. So let's have a look and see if where this is actually being used. So the reason I store this in the 0 page is let me go, Jonathan. I think you figured it out, haven't you? So what do you think the category is here? I'm pleased you found this one. It's my favorite one. There he is, Jonathan Archer. Enterprise captains of starships, folks who flew a ship. They all destroyed the Death Star. Well, one of them is correct. One of them is definitely correct. That's all I will tell you. I think it's kind of obvious which one it is. Thank you for the resub, 6502 Kebab. Appreciated. Well, let's try to get in there now. Cheers. Okay, clear particles data. Right, okay, yeah. So I'm losing track of where I am now because I'm too busy focusing on that. So let's take a look. So the reason I do this in 0 page is because what it allows me to do, as you will see in a minute, although why is that not showing up in the list? That should be showing up as a value somewhere, but for some reason it's not. Or maybe I don't reference it like that. I can't think why though. I should probably reference it like that. But no, I don't. So the reason I do it in 0 page is because it makes it quicker for me to clear it. If I had to kind of look through and calculate the particles, all the positions of the particles are calculated when we draw them. So there is no point in recalculating that when we go to clear it. We may as well store that screen lookup. And the easiest place to store that is in 0 page because then you've already got it set up for your indirect addressing. In fact, this might be one of the cases where I use the comma X, the X indirect addressing. It's a perfect example of where you would use it. So let me just take a look in the particles. Here we go. So we've got to kill particles, which is indeed ZP clear particles. There we go. Which is actually filling in with a random screen position. Actually, it's the first kind of byte that's outside of the screen area. So there must be no. That's it. That's all. It's actually clearing it all in here. So the fact that it clears it all in here means it shouldn't be doing that again when it comes to clear particles, which is here. So yeah, it is using the comma X. You can see there it's using the comma X lookup. So what we're doing is we're grabbing that list of screen positions and we're going through it from the end and working our way backwards through it. And the easiest way to do that is to set an X register, which is the particle count, which is going to point to the end of this array here. And work our way backwards through that list until we hit the 0 again. particle count minus should be -2. Oh, hang on. Particles zero page count. Is that going to be? Maybe I'm just getting things wrong here. Okay, so that increments by 2. So every time I add a particle, it increments by 2. So this is correct. So the first particle would be at this location here, ZP clear particles, and so therefore when I go to clear the list, please find that. Oh, helps if I'm in the right file. When I go to clear the list, which I do here, we start at the location which is the clear particles -2, because that means if there's one particle, particle count is, in this case it would actually be double. Particles every count here is double actual count. So if there's one particle, this would be 2, and that means our first and only location here would be the very beginning of this array. So this should, in theory, go through this array and clear it. Sorry, that is clearing it, clearing the particles. This kill particles here should be clearing the array properly as well. And you can see here we do the same thing in the other direction, and all we're doing here is we're setting the screen clear position to be the very last byte +1. So it's the first byte that's not within the screen space. And that should be preventing it from running the clear particles at this point. So I can only imagine that kill particles is not happening at the right time, maybe. So how can we test this? Let's think. Okay. So if clear particles hang on. Particle. No, this should clear them all, right? And then this particle ZP count. Where's that? Particle ZP count. Okay, that gets reset every frame anyway. Huh, okay. Kill particles should be clearing it. I feel like it's missing something somewhere. Oh my god, it's a terrible joke. Terrible joke. It's probably it's the easiest way for you to see things. Except my arm is still here. Oh, half a shallow. BG Deadpool, BG live BGP in the pool, BG arcade pool. Okay. Okay, so it's got to be something to do with this. It's definitely got to be something to do with this. If I try and replicate this again, right? Let's get this replicate. So I replicate it by standing here, letting some particles kind of run into that area, then going down. Doesn't always work though, so I have to maybe I have to be in this position, or there we go. Is there a number particle counter that needs 0? Well, it automatically zeros as part of the draw particles. So when the particles get drawn, it zeros. So really, it shouldn't be, and the list that it clears should be getting cleared here. So the only thing I can think of is this. This is not happening here. In fact, let me just put this in and just make sure that this is actually being killed, because maybe the particles are not being killed between screens. But what I'm thinking is it could be done with the same kind of one frame flag that we've got to allow one extra frame before any of these things get, so like the particle update system just wouldn't, or the particle clear wouldn't happen until one frame after the screen has been loaded. Thank you for the follow, Michael Sleeps. Welcome to the stream. If the particle hasn't reached the end of life, then it will still draw. Well, let's have a look at what would happen in here. No, it should be being cleared here. The particles should be getting cleared as well. So when the particles get drawn, it checks the MSB, and if the MSB of the particle is 0, then it won't draw it. So I think it's I don't think it's that. I think I mean it's kind no, it kind of is on those lines, but I don't think it is the particle count itself. Um it's something else going on here. I'm not entirely sure what, but I think I can solve it with the flag anyway. The particle is clear, but the point, yeah, that's what this is doing. This is clearing the pointers and the particles as well. That's what I was describing before, the particle pointers. That's why I'm putting this increment in here to see if it actually does, if the particles do get killed. So what I'm hoping to see is the border color change. When I flick between screens, because it's trying to kill the particles. If it doesn't, then it's not being called, or it's not being called correctly anyway. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know why everybody has latency issues on my stream. I might need to take a look into that. Let's try this here. So what I'm looking for is, does the color change when the bug happens? The low latency option in Twitch is missing for you. Oh, maybe I need to turn that on in OBS. I know I did a lot of messing around to get it to work for everybody, so I will check it out after the stream. I can't do it midstream because I'd have to stop it, but oh god damn, it's not doing it now, is it? And yes, it's max particles is a constant, yeah. Oh, the background is definitely changing color all the time. Why's it not happening now? This is typical, isn't it? Oh, there we go. It's removed one here. But the background did change color as well. So maybe I only need to go up and down here. It's kind of rare that it happens, but it does freaking happen. That's the annoying thing. There you go. So it happened, just not in the, not in the place I wanted it to. But I wonder if it's only one particular particle that causes a problem, like one particular number of particle that's an issue. That would make more sense, because that would explain why it's not happening all the time. Because if I do these particles here, these are definitely moving along where this is, right? So if I put that arrow on it here and move up, That's that's where I should be getting my particles to move across this gap here. So that's definitely the right place for this to happen, but it's not happening every time, which makes me think maybe it's just one particular particle number, like the first or the last one, something. So let's have a look at this loop that actually clears it. Ah, yes, I think it is. I think it's that. I don't think that should be there. Let me try. So if I just do that, for instance, is it going to happen more frequently? If this happens more frequently, then I think we've solved it. So it's just that the very last pointer was not being cleared. So if it happened to be the very last particle on the screen, which is hard to see when the laser is what's screwing it up here, basically. Did I? I don't think I run that. Did I? I was just trying to do the same bloody thing. But yeah, I think that's what's causing it. I think it's to do with that array because when it clears, it's going. Yeah, it's not going all the way. It was missing the very last pointer. God damn it! That's it. Okay, so we should see it happen way more frequently now, like 4 times more frequently. There we go. And we'll probably see it happen in multiple positions as well. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's that. Okay. Okay, so it was just a bit of deduction. Just had to figure out that okay, this is not happening all the time, so it's fairly infrequent, which means it's probably not happening. There's a particular edge case, and the edge case is literally that it's on the edge of the kind of the array of particles. So I at that point I knew it was probably either the first or the last one. It happened to be the last particle in the list. So let's give that a try. Thank you very much for the bits, Deft. Appreciated. I'm on the Evian at the moment, so no, the timers are broken. So if I restart my overlay, the timers break. It's still working and it will still appear, but it's just doesn't the timer doesn't show up for some reason. I don't know why it does this. I need to look into it. I'll try and fix it for Saturday because I do want to get those. I do want to get those working. So a feature, yeah. Let's call it a feature. I'll go with that. Okay. And I want to remove this from it now. But I think we're good. I think that's that problem solved. Need to use Python to fit. No, no, no. I was looking at the speed of various languages. Node has really shot up the list now. Like, so I was looking at a few different things. So there was like some binary search algorithms, Mandelbrot fractal calculations, and various things. And of course, like C++ and Rust are right at the top for speed. But Node was surprisingly far up the list. Node was very far up the list. Um, which doesn't surprise me because the node JIT compilation stuff is real, and the ahead of time compilation stuff is really good. Tenway123, thank you for the follow, appreciated. But yeah, it was. I mean, the Mandelbrot fractal was like about 1 second to calculate in C, and it was 4 seconds in Node, so it really wasn't that bad. It was like 40 seconds or something in Python, which made me laugh. Gareth1130, thanks for the bits, appreciated. Yeah, Node is, and that was without even using. That was just using worker threads. It wasn't using native libraries as well, so you can get faster than that still because you can use some C libraries in Node now as well. Actually, I've been able to for quite a while, so yeah, there's a lot of speed in Node now. It was kind of surprising. Oh, Okay, that's a new one. There's a lot of glitchiness around this multiplex. I really need to figure that out. You see this laser going all over the show. Just get those worked out. But okay, let's see if we can break the thing down here. I don't think we will now. I think we've pretty much got it spot on. Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? It's not going to break now. Yeah, in fact, I'm very confident about that because of the way that loop was obviously wrong. So okay, I just want to see why that laser had a missing piece and come back to here and see if it happens again from here. No, did see a flash of the player over the other side of the screen though. That was annoying. Don't know if you see that there. Doesn't happen all the time. That's even more annoying. Yeah, briefly it happens. Meanwhile, PS2 in the 1541 being the Pi 1541 57 with the original still running. That's kind of cool. Very stinky. Uh, yeah, reading that list of languages, it did make me want to give Rust a try because it does look like that is really kind of starting to compete with C. In fact, it was beating some older, like the latest versions of Rust were beating some older versions of the C compiler. And when I say old, I mean like 5 years old or something, not that old really, but and it was so close. But C and Rust were like a hair's thing between them. It's very, very, very close on those. So it's a nice layer to be learning. How do you find it, Zendai? It's something I'm kind of considering having a play around with a little bit in my spare time. Don't know what I'd do with it, but I just kind of want to have a mess with it. It just looked like I was shocked when I saw the results because it's been a long time since there's really been anything up there competing with C for speed. And it does look kind of C-like in its style, which I guess is to be expected. But that's about as far as I went looking at. I didn't really look any deeper than that. Okay, this looks pretty good. Okay, I want to check if those should be exploding through the walls. I don't know. I'll do that on another stream though. Now this mine here, I basically turned off. So that's something we need to figure out because this actually needs changing. It's too big at the moment. It needs to be shifted. It's at the moment it's in a 3x3 block of characters, and it should be in a 2x2. So that needs to be changed. So you can see you have to take quite a wide berth around it to get around it. Uh, but this is otherwise it's feeling pretty good. Go is Go was on the list as well, but it was quite far up the list, but it still wasn't up there. With C and Rust were like way ahead of everything else. Uh, go for so is BBC Basic code. Let's know it's full of 6502. Yeah, well, that's the cool thing with BBC Basic. That's one of the best things about it. Unfortunately, when I learned BBC Basic, I didn't know assembly language, so it was not something I ever got to use. There was a few routines that I think I picked up out of magazines and things, but nothing. Um, nothing was really nothing that I really understood. I was just kind of copying something because it's like, oh, this is a fast clear screen routine, or this is a fast kind of graphics draw a circle routine, or something like that. Um, what I really do like about the BBC Micro is all the different kind of graphics modes as well. It's kind of cool having that selection of graphics modes. Okay, I'm glad we got the proximity stuff fixed. That's kind of good. Okay, this screen is definitely going to need some more masking on it. But let's go back a little bit and let's just work out what we need to do screen by screen. Okay. So this laser needs a bit of work. I think the when it's working well, the laser is fine. But it does need a little bit of work to make sure it works all the time. See, it's working fine now. But there was a little few bugs in it. There's a little bit of glitching now and again sometimes with it. I strongly suspect some of this is to do with the music, because the music routine is super heavy. And I kind of I kind of want to find a way to make it quicker, but I honestly have no idea what to do that. I'd have to kind of dig into the routine, figure out what's been used and what's not, and then kind of remove those. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that one. But just to show you how much it's using, so if I turn, was it game loop? No, it was IRQ, wasn't it? It was in here. Yeah. So I don't know how used to seeing music routines you are, but a goat tracker tune will typically be. In fact, in fact, I can load as goat tracker tune in. I think. Hang on. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Actually, if I load in a goat tracker tune first, you can see just how much of a difference there is between the two. Yeah, here we go. So this is a goat tracker tune first. This is the pick and mix SID music that Prince Faze did. Um, you're not going to hear it, but you'll be able to see the kind of the gap at the bottom here. So you can see there, it's using a little bit more than one kind of character height. It's probably about 1.5 to 2 characters high. You can see it's not that much, right? In fact, let's take a little screenshot so we can even compare it side by side, right? So there's our screenshot. Let's get this to the right size. It's a very non-technical way of doing this, but it will give us roughly the right thing. You can see that's kind of an extreme case of it there. That's kind of the fully extended version. So that's kind of the worst case scenario. Um, However, if I look at SID tracker music, uh, file, so this should be lined up. You can see the difference there. It's up to double in some cases of the time taken. Oops, shrunk it a little bit now. There we go. Just get that back to the right size. Yeah, there you go. So you can see, like in a worst case scenario, because the thing is as well, this is without the music, because I'm not going to turn the music on because I want it to keep. Uh, I want to keep it kind of secret. I know you've heard the first bit, but there's uh, is it Ben Cisco? Is what Ben Cisco? His Ben Cisco's full name is Benjamin Cisco. You are correct in that assumption, and you've spelt it correctly as well. So you should be able to deduce from that what the problem is. But yeah, you can see there it's almost double the rasa time, which is a yeah, he's not there. Benjamin Cisco is not. I mean, at least I don't think he's there for anything else, but he's certainly not there under the name Benjamin Cisco. Yeah, so this is a little bit frustrating because this is a little bit too much time. Really, I don't want to be spending that much time doing music. Um, the timings are very tight on this because we've got multiplexer which is doing a big sort routine. And I can adjust that per screen, but there are cases where I need the multiplexer to be sorting lots of sprites. I am going to probably redo the multiplexer at some point to make it more efficient. I'll probably do it off stream and then as a separate thing, which I can then share on my. Discovered a new series. So yeah, I can do it off stream and then share that code and we can implement it. I'll show you how to implement it into your project and do it in here. And that will give me the opportunity to kind of really tweak and refine and get it as fast as possible. But there's other stuff as well. So that there's very specific kind of stuff for particles that has to happen. There's too much, and having another 16 to 20 lines or whatever this is extra. Um, maybe not 16 to 20, but definitely 10 or so. It's just a little bit too much. So I need to either figure a way out of compressing the raster time elsewhere, figure out how to reduce the raster time for the music, or get the music changed. But I don't really want to change the music because the music is very, very good. So, and I don't think the same thing could be achieved well with Go Tracker. I think it's done an amazing job with it. I think Sid Tracker has actually allowed some kind of stuff that wouldn't normally be there. So one thing I will say, is it Benjamin Sisko? Oh, maybe it is spelled that way. Yeah, I think you might be right actually with the spelling. But I'll tell you now, he's not there under the name Benjamin Sisko. He's not there. So um, even spelt correctly, you won't find him because that's not what that series of pictures is about. And also, just to point out, this series, the last series just up there, you'll notice that the name of the background is F1 McLaren. You need to add F1 to everything in this series. This was I did this before I actually added series, and then I realized, and I added the F1 to kind of. I mean, I'm telling you basically what the bloody series is about, but it's kind of obvious, really. I added that kind of prefix as that was going to be the series marker, and then ended up not using it. But it does mean that everyone in that series is prefixed by F1. So um, turning your Star Trek fan badge, yeah. I've been watching Deep Space Nine as well. I should know that, but then again, I don't really know the spellings of many of the characters' names, so I couldn't tell you the spellings of most of the non-familiar names. Okay. So anyway, that's the music. This is why I think I need to kind of have a play around with the music a little bit. I think I might be able to go in and just change some of the routines in there to be a little bit friendlier, like not to set as many properties, and we can see how that affects the music. Or it might just be not very optimal code. It's quite likely that it's code that's written that does a job, but isn't particularly well optimized. So we could do some more optimization. Yeah, DS9 is really good. I think DS9 was very underrated. I think people kind of liked to hate DS9, but actually it's very good. Um, okay, I'm quite happy with this screen. Other than that, okay. So one thing we do need to do is we need to have the door working on this. So we did have. Oh yeah, and there's that issue as well where these are too big now. These need to be shrunk. So one of the things Andy's going to do is he's just going to reduce the height of this by 1 pixel. because that extra 1 pixel means it carries over into a new character, which means my collision stops here, because that line of 3 pixels there counts as a whole entire square. It also means bullets stop against nothing. So we do need to have it so that when we shoot this, the door opens here. So let's put the door in. Let's get the door back in at this point. Also, not had a CPU crash for a while. That's pretty good. Now I've said that, I probably will do. I would say I'm kind of halfway between a badge holding geek and a. I mean, I know a lot about Trek. I've watched a lot of Trek, but I wouldn't say I know as much as a proper super fan does. But I've definitely watched a lot, and I enjoyed them a lot, and I rewatch them as well. Um, they would have made it. You'll roll around. See, that's what I mean. I don't remember these now. So, who's that? I need to look that up. Hang on. Oh, right, yeah, I know. See, I don't remember these things. Yeah, she came in a bit later on, didn't she? She wasn't in the first couple of seasons. She came a bit later on. Uh, can't watch Shatner anymore. Too cringy. The new Trek won an award this week, most disliked show on the network. Oh, you mean Discovery? I really liked Discovery at first, but it just kind of lost its way. I don't. I have to agree. I can't really watch it anymore. So there you go. This screen's fine. All right. These all have something in them. Yeah, okay. Oh, there was this as well. This has stopped colliding with things. Let's fix that before we put the door in. So that this should smash through things. I should be able to go into in here, for instance, and smash these things up, but they're not. It's not hitting them for whatever reason. None of it's doing any damage. So let's take a look at that. So let's start by giving the player that to begin with, and have a look and see if we can figure out what that is. Pretty important to have that working. So there we go. That should mean the player starts with it. William Shatner is 90, is he? Wow. Fucking hell. Yeah, that makes sense. Fucking hell. It's crazy to think about that. Right, so hopefully I start with that now, which means I can just immediately go over to things and see if they break. Okay, so let's take a look at the mace and what's happening with the destroyable stuff for the mace. So this is going to be in the player code. The player code is probably going to have mace. Here we go. Mace update. Here we go. Mace update. That's a trail index. Check mace collision. Ah, okay. Is the mace centered on the ship? Probably looks off center. Probably not. I'll check that out in a second. So I removed the trail from the mace because it was causing glitches, and the problem is that the collision is actually part of that as well. So let's just check. If we skip over this, then we jump to here. Uh, check mace collision. Check mace collision at the end. Okay, so basically, instead of doing all of this, we just jump straight to mace collision here instead. That should solve that. And then let's take a look if it's centered or not. I think it's probably not, because it used to be that it would change directions when you moved different directions, but now it doesn't. So, oh God, it's kind of hard to tell actually. How can I check this? I guess if okay, so how can I advance by 1 frame? I don't think I can I? Oh yeah, it's definitely not, is it? What about vertically? Vertically, it kind of looks all right, but in left and right, it looks wrong. Okay, so let's just go this way. Does it change this direction? Okay, no, it definitely it needs moving to the right a little bit. So bottom right is closer than top left. Yeah, so let's move it over by a few pixels. Okay, so now we need to figure out how the mace is actually placed. So the mace will be placed based on the mace will be placed based. The mace will be based placed. Oh god, I can't even say it now. The position of the mace um, is going to be based on the player position, which is not that one there. Player Y position. Here we go. Add mace offset Y, add mace offset X. Okay, so we've got some tables. Ah, oh, because this is based on the player. So if I did +8, let me just try that. Oh, Chedri. God damn it. All right, let me fix that. I can't have that. Chedri. It was a single can as well. And I wasn't drunk when I'm not drunk now either, but I obviously just pressed the wrong button on the keyboard. It's easily done on this keyboard. There we go. Can't have that. No, I won't give them away that easy. not for errors in the in my cloud bot. Oh, oh, I forgot what I was doing now. Mace. Oh yeah. I don't know why I did +9 there, but okay. Right, so what I'm trying to do now is just trying to shift things around using these offsets until it's in the right place. Now, this may change the way the collision works, so I might need to check that as well in a second. I mean, that does look a lot better. Let's try pausing it in some places. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Oh, it's a bit too far down now. That's too far over. Okay. Too far down, too far over. So let's try reducing that to 4. I can just slow it down. Can I? If I slow it right down, that should be enough to spot if it's different. Or speed it up so fast that it's just a blur. But I'll slow it down. My brain can handle that easier. So Saturday we'll continue with Showdown for the Mega 65. Uh, really looking forward to it. As I've said, I'm enjoying it a lot. Oh, actually, this is a good way of checking it. See how far it pokes out on either side of this. So I'm in the middle here, and that's poking out exactly the right amount on either side. So that's good. Let's check vertically here. Okay, so that looks good as well. Right, let's just slow it down so we can check again. Well, let's see what it looks like on full speed. Actually, I think that is spot on. I think that is spot on. Let's try it, slow it down. So what do you think? I think that looks all right. Um, I think that's fine. think it stutters. Oh, that's probably just a frame rate thing. I was just slowing it down to see if you could see the difference with it. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to blow those up, so let's try over this side. Ah, no collision at all on it. That's weird. Divi02, thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. Good to have you on board. Yeah, it was probably when I slowed it down. But you got bad lag tonight. Well, look. We'll allow it though, because you are in Australia, so you are allowed to have lag, considering you are on the opposite side of the world. So I had a weird dream last night that I'd retired and gone to live in New Zealand. I don't know why, but I was living in New Zealand. I mean, I wouldn't say no to that. I like the idea of New Zealand, so but it was just kind of funny. Take care, Warlock. It's Friday morning. I should have the opposite of lag. Yeah, yeah. Just a really random dream. Random dream that I was just living in New Zealand. I can't even remember very much about it, but it just came to me then, remembering. Oh yeah, I had some dream where I lived in the middle of nowhere in New Zealand. Maybe it's a sign of the future. Maybe that's where I need to move to. Uh, okay. Collision. So really, it should be colliding. I'm not entirely sure why it's not. To be completely honest, um, because it should get to here. Checkmate collision should do this. So let me just. Ah, wait. Do I need some data from in here? Maybe. Let's have a look. Okay, so this should be taking the mace position, I believe. 3 plus. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's update. Okay. Oh no, it is +2, not +3. Okay, so let's just comment out the stuff I don't need, so I'm not wasting space with that. It's probably get removed at some point, but I'm just going to leave it. The reason I'm leaving it here now is because it is for the trail. So, I wonder if it's to do with this because it's using +3 instead of +2. I believe +2 is the mace and not +3, so that might be enough. And I know this was fairly complicated, so I'm hoping I don't have to touch that. I do remember that being a bit of a pain. There we go. Okay, so now we need to check the accuracy of this. Obviously, the mace doesn't have a lot of accuracy because it's just using the center of the mace as a character lookup check. But as long as now that was interesting. It kind of it gave off particles as it hit the wall, well as it hit the edge, but didn't blow them up. That was until I got fully into it. But it seems to be okay. This is good. Yeah, this is nice. All right, cool. So a couple of glitches with the sprites as you move between screens. I mean, it's to be expected at the moment. I'm not too... Whoa, there we go. CPU jam. All right. So why we got a CPU jam there? What's going on this screen? So we had two sprites, quite a lot of particles going off, but nothing. I mean, it's not the most number of particles. Uh, okay. Okay, let's go and take a look at the stack and see what's going on. So Our execution is at 5477, so let's just take a look at what that is at the moment. So it is indeed to do with the sprite rasters. Let's just run that again, pause it, see if we're in the okay, we are definitely in the same place. So I think we keep hitting this chunk of code up here, which is to do with this the multiplexer, which is kind of what I thought it was going to be. So I think I definitely want to change this multiplexer at some point. I'm just wondering if I write a fully new multiplexer, or if I base it on something like the Delta multiplexer, because the Delta multiplexer is very good. And I don't really want to reinvent the wheel if that's already kind of working. It's the sort. I need to work out if the sort is quick enough or not. Oh yeah, there's Mega Drive as well. I really need to get into that soon. I've kind of put it down for a little bit while I was doing some of the Mega 65 stuff at the moment. I've been quite busy with work as well, and not well as well with my hand. But I do want to crack on with that at some point. I need to get on with my artwork. I want to try and maybe do Doc 2 on the Mega Drive. Well, actually, I wonder. We'd need two completely different code paths. I was thinking if I could do Doc at the same time on Mega 65 and on Mega Drive, but it's going to be too different to really do both. Plus, I'm going to be learning Mega Drive, so that's going to be tricky. Uh, Trying to think if there's a way. I mean, I could maybe write a macro system for. Nah, no, it's not going to work. I was thinking I could find a way to have 45 GSO2 code translated to 68K, but it's really not going to be. It's really not going to work that well. So there will be a Mega Drive core for the Mega 65. Cool. All right. Then in that case, the Dot Cosmos 2 will make it to the Mega 65 at some point then. But I said it will. I'm not going to start the Mega 65 code stream till the end of the year at least, just because I want to focus on the Mega 65 at the moment. So Mega Drive will be towards the end of the year, and it'll give me a bit of time to practice the artwork stuff, because I've literally drawn one. I've drawn Doc in one pose, one running pose, and that's it. Um, when does it usually end? When? Oh, yeah. As long as the wine lasts on a Saturday. Yeah, on Saturday. Well, I mean, I'm not going to be on the wine. I'm going to be on the vodka and lime again, because wine is making me fat. Cider is making me fat as well, so I need to kind of slow down on that. But I hadn't had any for a while, so. And I do want to play some Resident Evil again on Saturday. I can't even remember where we're up to, but I don't think there's a lot left. So after the coding stream around about 2:30, we'll switch over to Resident Evil and play that for an hour or two. When I'm suitably drunk on vodka. Uh, it's the fish and chips after the cider, yeah. Yeah, I think I've just got one boss left, haven't I? I think I need to get to and kill the last boss, or I've killed 3 of the 4. I don't think I've killed Heisenberg yet. Uh, okay, so this break is happening in the multiplexer here. I think it's here. Uh, draw sprites up to next raster. Actually, it's happening before that. Oh yeah, no, it is happening. There we go. Jump to subroutine. Draw sprites up to next raster. So that's That's here. So it's actually failing at this point. I think anyway. I might be wrong. Let's see. This is why I wish I could save the state and just load it into the. Damn it! All right, actually, let's step. All right. So this is going to go through. So what I just want to see is see, there we go. It jumped into a break instruction here, so that's wrong. So let's go and have a look at what's at 5492 8D7F. Okay, so it is jumping into this location, and this 541A. So let's just have a quick look from 540C onwards. Okay, 540C. So that is this bit here. That's this bit here, and then there's this jump table. So it's grabbing some value that's wrong in the jump table. So let's see if we can figure out what that value is, where it's grabbing that. Somehow it's not immediately crashing. I mean, it really should have done by now. But somehow it's going back into this. I guess the IRQ is firing and it's going back in again. So let's have a look. Okay, so draw sprites up to the last position. All right, here we go. So now we're in this routine here. And this should be creating a sprite table, jump table here. But that depends on the value that we load into the accumulator. So let's see what value we get in the accumulator here. And there we go. This is the problem you see. Now, the value we've got in the accumulator is C9, which is not a proper sprite index at all. So I want to check the Y register at that point. So the Y register was EA, so that's wrong as well. Sprite sorted indexes, comma X. X was 15. Okay, so this number is very, very wrong. This Y is completely wrong here. And this is probably because the sprite sorted indexes. Okay, so that should be um, sprite sorted indexes. Where are you hiding? Where are you defined? Come on. Max multiplex sprites. Okay, and max multiplex sprites is a constant, which is in here, which is 20. So we're actually getting one more than the maximum, which is why this is an issue. So this might actually be, we might actually be able to solve this lockup now. So again, what's happening is when it goes to draw the initial sprites, draw sprites up to next raster, sorry, this one, it grabs the current index of the sprite here, and then it grabs the index for that. But this is beyond. This is at the end of the list. So you can see in here when that routine was called, loadx, it says laser offset range, but it's actually sprite current index here. It's obviously sharing a label with something else. And the value it gets is 15, which is in hex, by the way, not so that's actually 21, which is one more. In fact, it's two more than the end of the sprite position. So that means somewhere this is being incremented to a value that's far too high. Although maybe it's to do with the fact that that is actually using laser offset range as well. So let's find out where that's been used. Laser offset range. Okay, so these are, it looks like 0 page values, but maybe I'm using the value more than once. So sprite current index in 0 page is this one here. So where the hell is it getting laser from? Laser offset. Its offset range is 17. Yeah, so it is. It's pointing to that value. So there's a clash between those. Okay. Self mod code. I'm not entirely sure. I need to figure out where it's being used. I think it's more likely to be just set up incorrectly here. Oh, actually, laser offset range is used here in laser, but it's used as a constant. So there's a, yeah, okay, so it's a constant in here. So maybe I'm accidentally using it as an immediate value somewhere, as an absolute value somewhere. So let's have a look. It's not being used as one there, nor there. It's been added there. Okay, this is fine. It's not that. Okay, so it's not that. There's something else going on. So let's take a look at this value and see where it's incremented. So this current sprite index should increment as we go along. Lodex with 2. This is because when we reset, we don't care about the first 2 sprites. So the first 2 sprites is the player and the mace, or maybe no, the players. Player. Oh, maybe the mask. It might be the mask thing. Yes, because that can't multiplex. So yeah, all right. Valheim. I do like that bar. It's one of my favorite backgrounds. I've not played that in a while, actually. Not played that for a couple of weeks. Should go back to that at some point. I got back into Satisfactory recently. Been playing that with Sean. So we're looking for this value being incremented, which I'm sure it will be somewhere. But it doesn't look like it is. Compare X. Oh, wait. Is there an increment X in here? Yes. Okay, so there's an increment X here. Ah. Why is this different? What's this Vmax? Hang on. I think I might have found the problem. Because I was doing where is that set though? Vmax is by multiplex sprites. Vmax sprites -2. So I had a system where I was able to dynamically change the number of sprites, and I think this is what screwed this up. And obviously I don't need that anymore. Well, I'll leave it in because I might need it at some point, but it should be this value here. I think that's the problem. I think what's happening is, although it should be the same number, Vmax multiplayer sprites. That should be the same number. That's weird. Oh, yes. This is comparing it to the address of this, and this isn't an address, it's a byte. So that's the problem. So I think that might be our crash solved here. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's got to be it, right? So let's just check where else that's been used, and make sure that's not being used as an immediate value anywhere. Yeah, it's being used as an immediate value there as well, which is incorrect. I mean, that could actually be the cause of a lot of the glitches as well, very easily. So, yeah. Next time Shallow needs to paint that picture Bob Ross style. Yeah, I think that's a cause of a lot of the. I think that's the. I definitely think that's a CPU jam for sure, because the jump table, it would have been jumping to a place in the jump table that was outside of the table, right? It would have been picking some random place. 10 game points. Yeah, I won't award myself points. Otherwise, I should be getting point every time I write a line of code, right? Every time I put a line of code in, it's a point for me. Let's see if Andy can keep up with that. Out of the way a bit. Oh god, this water's really warm now. Oh, good news by the way with the dot Cosmos stuff. I don't know if I mentioned it on the last stream, but the the cartridges have all come in now. I've just got a message about an hour ago actually while we've been on stream that the let me just double check. Yeah, that the actual cartridge shells, so the purple shell and sticker, they're coming soon. Boxes have all been ordered, manuals have been ordered, but the game cartridges are all there and they've been flashed now. So we've got them, they've been delivered, and they'll start going out soon. It's selling really well as well. I'm really really pleased. Um, and everything I put into every penny I make from this game as well is going to go back into the stream and it's going to pay for um, more Nexus. As I said, everything we do on the stream this year, every penny of profit we make on the stream is going to go towards prizes. So there may be a double double prize coming up at some point. And I'm not going to go into details, but we're going to most likely have a very good Christmas giveaway this year as well. So we had what did we do last year? Oh, last year was the Pi 400 triple Pi 400 giveaway. We're gonna have an exciting giveaway as well this Christmas. So, uh, thanks guys for the bits. That wasn't a plea for bits, but thank you very much, Deft, and thank you very much, Microman. Um, um, but yeah, it's really good. And again, if you there's still I can't remember what percent there is left, but there's still some left. Available for pre-order of the Dot Cosmos game, and you can still enter to win the Dot Cosmos themed Game Boy, which is an absolute gorgeous piece of equipment. If you haven't got a Game Boy Color and you want one, I would definitely go and grab yourself a ticket for that. It costs you £5, and you're in a chance of winning a £250 a Game Boy. Um, and even if you do have a Game Boy Color, this is a unique one. It's a fully modded, so it has the sound mod in it. It has the backlit IPS screen, the glass cover on the screen rather than the plastic. Brand new shell. It's been recapped as well, and it's got the kind of color profile selection on the IR. So if you put your finger over the IR, it switches between different color profiles, so you can use it in black and white and stuff like that, or you can like, change the color warmth. Like there's a cold and there's a warm and things like that. So, um, uh, on the waters tonight must be some serious coding going on. No, it's just because I've been on antibiotics, so I've been taking it easy with the alcohol. But I had my last one today, so I had a can of cider, and I'm going to be digging into the vodka on the weekends, making up for lost time. Okay, so I think what I've done, just let me run that again. I can't remember if I actually ran that properly or not. I think what I've done is probably solved some of the problems we're having with the multiplexer, which is good, right? So thank you, Oscar Coda. Cheers, making up for lost time. Yeah, I'm British. You've got to make up for lost time. That's why when all the Brits, I mean, I didn't do it because I'm still slightly afraid to go out until I have my next injection, which is going to be in what 6 to 8 weeks time. Um, but the moment the lockdown ended, people were queuing outside pubs at midnight because they just wanted to get in. For I think some pubs opened for like an hour after midnight on the day that the lockdown closed. The lockdown ended, and people were queuing outside because we're such binge drinkers. It's ridiculous. Anyway, cheers for the gift sub to Old School Coder Andy Magic Night, and cheers for the bits as well. Steps appreciated. Yeah, it's Brits for you. We're a country of binge drinkers, unfortunately. Although I was reading an article today that said the latest generation don't drink as much as my generation or the millennial generation. I was thinking that's bollocks. They definitely do. I don't know who they were interviewing, but they can't have been the right people. Okay, so that little kind of um, skim of particles as it hits the edge is kind of wrong, but as it hits the edge of the things, I'll show you up here. Actually, do you know what? I think that has fixed the glitch issues with the sprites. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a little. Oh, actually, that's kind of nice. I think if you just skim it doesn't work on everything. Seems to be from the top more than the bottom, but yeah. Make up for it by smoking tons of weed. Yeah, that's true. Uh, I saw on the news Brits are instructed to drink 127 or so pints. Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? Because obviously lockdown has been problematic for businesses, right? And one of the businesses that this country is crazy proud of is pubs, right? We're really proud of our pubs in this country, and pubs rightfully, have a reason to kind of to be a bit worried at this time because they've been closed down. Um, it's very high. It's not like you can do Deliveroo for beer. So it's been tricky for a lot of pubs. Um, some of them have managed to do like the pub food on Deliveroo and keep going that way, but it's been tricky. So it's a weird case where the government has kind of encouraged people to go out and get pissed, basically. Go out and get pissed, spend your money in the pubs and stuff. So yeah. Takeaway bit. Well, the thing is that some places did allow you to order beer. You go and order the beer on the app. So you order a beer on the app, and then you wait outside, and somebody comes out with your order. So people were actually doing takeaway beer, but it wasn't like it was delivery. It wasn't like you were ordering it from your house and getting it delivered. Because what would be the point of that when you could just buy some cans? But people were actually using the app. People were going standing in the street and ordering beer and having it brought out to them and having takeaway beer. It's just crazy, right? You can you can get beer. Well, I know you can get like cans and bottles and stuff delivered, but I mean Just Eat. Yeah, sorry, Just Eat. I've got a gripe with Just Eat. I ordered something the other day. It was just a McDonald's. I really fancied a McDonald's burger. I ordered a McDonald's. I ordered it about 2:30. It was quite late. I hadn't had any lunch, and I thought I'll just get a McDonald's. It's nice and quick and easy, and Just Eat are the only ones that do McDonald's, right? So I ordered it, uh, and I waited and waited. And normally it's like 15 minutes, 15 20 minutes or so. And I waited about an hour later. It was still assigning a driver. So it's like, all right, but if it's still assigning a driver, that means they're not going to cook it. So I'll just cancel it. I'll cancel it and then reorder it. I couldn't cancel it. There's no way to cancel it. And all it kept saying was phone the restaurant. I was like, why should I phone the restaurant? It says it's trying to assign a driver, which means the restaurant hasn't even started to cook yet. It's not their fault. It's Just Eat failing because they can't assign a driver. So what I did in the end was I said, after 2 hours, I cancelled it by saying that it'd been delivered and everything was missing because you can say what was missing in the order. So I went and just ticked to say everything was missing, and then put a whole spiel in saying sort your shit out. I've seen junior web programmers can write a better site than this. Basically, just going off on it a little bit. So if you do want to read a funny complaint, just see if we can find that handy in the database. Um, and then so yeah, that was cancelled about 4:30. So that was 2 hours later, and it came up on things, said delivered, and then said that there would be a refund. So I was thinking, okay, that's cool, that's all sorted. And I went and ordered from somewhere else. I think I got a Burger King or something. I can't. No, it was a KFC burger or something like that. I don't recall. But then about an hour later, I got a knock on the door, and there's a Just Eat rider outside with a McDonald's for me. It's like, what the hell? So no, I cancelled this ages ago. And then half an hour after they went, I got a message to say that my rider was on the way. So 3.5 hours after me placing the order, I got a message to say the rider who had already been at my door. No, I sent it away. I didn't even want it. I'd eaten at that point. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I was quite miffed at them at that point. Anyway, that's my little story for you guys. I don't always eat McDonald's either. I was being a bit lazy, and I thought I'll just I'll do that because sod it, why not? Oh my god, this it has actually sorted out stuff with the multiplayer. This is really nice. I'm not seeing any glitches around this now. I'm really pleased for that. Really pleased for that. That's kind of cool. Oh, okay. Okay, these have got some issues though. Ah, right. So the reason these have got issues is two things is going on here. First of all, this screen has got no persistence data attached to it. Um, so none of these things on this screen are actually going to destroy properly because they've not got persistence data attached to it. And the reason they don't have well, they do have persistence data. In fact, we can find it in the list. So it's screen 3. So if I go in my asset export and look at screen 3, oh, sorry, no, that's something else. I think that's the actual date of the screen. Persist here. Persist 3. So there you go. You can see a full list of everything on that screen, all set up. But the problem is there is no screen 3 that actually loads this data in. So nothing, nothing will help. So the driver probably had a nice munch on more food. Yeah, no, I got a refund for it. I got refunded for it, and they actually gave me £5 credit as well, which was all right, I guess. But yeah, I guess the delivery driver could have, you know, the rider could have had a free McDonald's, I guess. Yeah. The funny thing about it was just how kind of crazy I went in there. Like it says like what was wrong with your order, and you have to say what was missing, then you can leave a note. And I basically filled the entire note because you only get like it's like a tweet, you only get so many characters in it. I just basically filled the note with some kind of weird programmer superiority thing, going like, "You sort your website out. It's rubbish." It's totally stupid, but yeah. Okay, so I think you've pretty much worked out what that series is, right? You've figured out that it's the well, what do you think it is actually? I guess Skunk Monkey's been the one filling them in, so I think you must know what it is, judging by the things you've put in there. Yeah, the F1 did give it away. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, it's the current Formula One teams. Yeah, I could have been really evil and just done all Formula One teams since 1960 or something, but I thought that would just take me too long, and I'm not that interested in Formula One. So yeah. Anyway, so this is the persistence data. So actually, what I'll do is I'll demonstrate how we get that working. Right. So we just need to take a base screen from somewhere. So let's go with the map loader, not map loader, sorry, loader. And we just need to add our screen behavior in. So we're adding the screen behavior to screen 3. So I'm going to put that in here, which means we do need to add it into here as well. So add our screen 3 in here. By default, screens will point to screen 0, which has no behavior attached to it whatsoever. So this is a screen 0, and you can see it doesn't do anything. But it's good because we've also got something we can use as a base then. So we grab this, make a new file, we'll call it screen 003 .sm. There we go. And then I can just paste this in here, screen 3. And then all we need to do for persistence is we just need to import the persistence data in. So go back to screen 3, import persistence data, persist 3, because it's screen 3, which is all generated for us automatically by the script that reads the chartpad file. And then the only other thing I need to do in here now is just set some. Actually, let's not use screen one. That's a bad example. yeah, these register entities. So you need to register, update, and then deregister entities when you go into a screen. I could do this automatically on init, but the thing is I don't want to call update entities unless there are entities to update. So because there won't be on every screen. So this should be enough to get that screen working now. So we're looking at this screen here. So you see the other problem we've got is the when the mace hits things, it creates a decal which gets kind of drawn onto things and then animated. But the problem is there's a limit on how many of these decals you can have. If you hit the limit in the number of decals while you're still trying to draw new ones, then they will stick around. So this is a kind of bug we need to fix, which is if you try to draw a decal, two things. If you're trying to draw a decal and there's already decal in the space that you're drawing in, don't draw a decal. If you try to draw a decal and there's no decals left, in other words, if the decal position that you're about to, the decal kind of slot that you're about to use is still active, don't draw the decal. So skip it. That should solve all these problems here. Um, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm just going to check that this has worked so I can show you how easy it is to import these things into the screens. It'd also give me an idea of just how much kind of room these screens are taken up already. And then what I will do is I will remove this persist from this. Actually, I'll just remove this screen completely from the loader from this here, just change it back to a 0 again. And what that will do is allow me to come in here and test this kind of particle decal stuff, which is the next update we'll do. I've got about 25 minutes left, so I should be able to do something in that time. So let's try, first of all, see if we can destroy things in that list. Not list in the screen. I'm looking at too many things at once. Getting confused myself. Right, okay. So if we come across this, oh god, it's that sprite multiplayer. So that was it. That was the issue. Yeah, you see now we can destroy things. And there we go. We've got another issue with these collectibles. In that the collectibles, there's also a limit on those. So with the collectibles, I think we can just up the amount of those. So let's go ahead and do that before we continue. So let's take a look. So how many kind of left behind here? It's kind of left like another 10 or so behind. So let's kind of have a look at the constants. Max items is set to 14 for some weird reason. Let's change that to 32. See how that affects things. Now, obviously, if we increase the number of items, then it's going to increase the time it takes to render these items. So we need to be careful about that. Mace shoots across screen when you enter. Okay, yeah, I think there's going to be some more screen transition stuff we need to do, like turning in various things off. Oh, I missed that cheer. Thank you, SP, for the cheer. I think I missed Steps's as well. Thanks for the cheers, guys. We are a nation of crazy mofos who like alcohol. Yes, that's so true. So there's a couple of issues here. One of them is this thing here. So you can see how the mace is leaving a decal. It's hitting the barrels, but it's not destroying them. I kind of like it though. It feels like we're just scraping the barrel. We're just scraping without actually doing any damage. And you have to just get a bit lower in order to hit them. I kind of like that. But I do want it to be faithful to the original game. So if that's not in the original game, then I will take it out. But for now, I'm going to leave that in. So let's just have a look at this mace issue. Ah, yeah. So you can see as we go into the screen, it's got to be in the right position. But the mace is actually stays in its position. So it looks like what happens is the mace actually moves across the screen, but it's not moving across the screen. It's just It's just because it's static while the screen is scrolling. So that's fine. We just need to turn that sprite off when we do that. But what I want to do now is just go and see if I can slam the mace through all of these spikes without repeating any of the pickups. Okay, not quite. The 100's down there stayed on. So let's try upping it a little bit more. Let's try 48. I mean, this is getting to be quite a lot, but we can address this later on. It might be that we have to cut down the number of items that spawn if we reach a limit, or remove the old ones, or something like that. I can't remember how inefficient or how efficient, or not inefficient, how efficient the item spawning routine and update routine was. They don't animate, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, they do animate a little bit actually. Yeah, you see the decal problem we've got. That's kind of irritating. Okay, that seems to be all right for now. Because it's a constant, I'm going to leave it. I think we might have to revisit the way this works. This will definitely be a source of potential performance gains if this is a problem. Thankfully, it doesn't go through the entire list. It just goes until it finds a gap, basically, or it should do anyway. I think that's what it's doing. But what I want to do now is, well, actually, I'll fix that screen, the mace going across the screen. I think that's probably. Is that going to be a good? Yes, I think that should be fine. I think what I need to do here is I actually need to do a mace update while the screen is scrolling. So mace update happens here. Oh, is it in the game loop? Maybe game loop player mace update. There we go. So I can possibly get away with it just by putting it in here to force the mace to always update as we move across. Let's take a look. I will tell you, Skunk Monkey, that you probably don't need two F1s in that, probably just the first one. If the team's called Haas F1, then I've misunderstood and I've just put Haas or Haas, whatever it is, because I don't know anything about these teams. So yeah, there we go. That's fixed that issue. All right, cool. Probably didn't get the time right. Yeah, let me just double check that for you. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let me just have a quick look. I'll begin with F1. Yeah, it is. It's just F1 Haas. Okay, so in that case, final thing I want to do before I end for the night is just turn the loader for screen 3 off so we can go and check the decal thing. So should hopefully have enough time. I'm quite pleased with tonight. It's a nice selection of kind of bugs squashed tonight, which is good. It means I feel a bit more confident moving into other screens that I'm not going to cause issues with. Because that laser looks perfect now. That laser hasn't glitched once since I fixed that multiplexer. And same with this screen as well. I've not seen this kind of do weird stuff yet, which actually makes me think that maybe I can get away with updating this swarm a little bit more and adding more to it. But I'll leave it for now. I think it's big enough anyway. But I mean, it definitely follows the kind of style of the original. So yeah, so this is what I want to fix now. So when these decals happen, they need to check, is there already a decal in this location? If there is, do nothing. Which means we do need to add a little bit of extra processing time to the decals, but it shouldn't be too much, I don't think. So here's where we add a decal. And you can see here, we are storing the screen address in these locations. So really what we need to do is first of all work out what stops a screen logo, stops it from being a decal. That's if the MSB is 0. Okay. So I guess what we could do here at this point, gone, this cannot spawn decal in scenery. Okay, so that is where it, okay, here we go, screen SM here. So if the value at this point is 0, then it's blank space. And it jumps to here. Now, is that it? That's all it does? And then it adds the decal? That seems a little bit... That seems like it should work. Why is it adding another decal there? So the decals are in the font set, the character set. God, I can never remember which ones these are. And this has changed now. It's in the base. Where is it? This one here. So it's these characters here. These from 192 to 251. And there is nothing in here other than this that says load the value at that location. You see we're using self-modding code here to actually grab the screen location, to load the value from that screen location. And all it's doing is saying if it is equal to 0, in other words, if it's this blank space here, then draw a decal. That's the only time it should be adding a decal. Otherwise, it should be doing this. So let's take a look at where else that's been called. Yeah, okay, so it's added in 2 places. It's added here, which is there. Okay, so this is if something is, it says remove item, but it's not. It's if you hit something. So that is probably the correct place for this. Let's just check the find as well what this one is. So this is item drops. Okay, so it's probably not this one. So it has to be to do with this routine. Yeah, it definitely has to be to do with this routine. Which means it shouldn't be getting to this point. It should be kind of failing at this point. I kind of feel like it should just immediately exit here. Let's try that. Let's just try sticking an RTS in here so we can't spawn decal. So we immediately exit. And then that way this number doesn't increment and go on to the next one, which could be what's causing the problem here. And also could mean that the decal, does the decal get drawn in that case? No, okay. Let's try that though. That might work. And then we'll call it a night here, I think. 10 15 minutes. That's give you enough chance to get the last Formula One car. Which one you missing there? A Ferrari. Okay. I might start adding some Shimmer Shilling awards to guessing series and stuff. Like maybe like it's just a small amount, like 1,000 or 2,000 or something for guessing a background, 5,000 for guessing one in a series, um, and maybe like I don't know 10,000 for the last one in a series or something. It could be an interesting addition to it, I guess. Okay. Oh God, do you know what? I was gonna go in and dig around in that multiplex and probably end up rewriting, and I think it's fine now. Oh, so close yet so far. Look, it's still failing. What it's doing now, though. Okay, so this is a different problem. So now the problem is that if the decal starts playing, and then while it's playing, the full list of decals gets used up, and a new one has to be spawned, then the new one replaces one that was already in existence, which means that the old one stays where it was and doesn't animate, stops animating. So that's a different thing here. So that is basically we do need to do some stuff in here again. So update decals. Here we go. We update the animations. We update index. Well, how do we know when it's finished? Okay, not sure how we know if it's finished here. Clear decal. It's got to be index, and this is going to be our animation thing here. Clear. Okay. Oh, okay. Load decal animation up, comma y, bunch of equal clear, and then in here, yes, we have this list here. So if the index here is not equal to the length of this list, somebody asked me about this the other day. I think it's steps actually asked me about how I do these length things, and it's as simple as this. I just stick another label on the end. I always use 2 underscores just to show the length, and then I can work out the exact length of this thing quite easily. Now, in this case, I want the length of this list -1. So as long as well, actually, I can take the so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that's 10. Yeah, so I need -1. So if it's less than the length of this list -1, then it's still active. If it's higher than that, then it's not active and we can replace it. Uh, and so that means all we have to do is in here where we go to add. We also don't add if this index is here we go. So we're going to load this index value in, and we're going to compare it to, and this is where the comparison happens. We're going to compare it to, we take the last label, we minus the first label, and that gives us our length, and then we're going to take 1 away from it here. If it's less than that, then we're just going to jump ahead to here. Otherwise, we're going to return, and that's going to prevent those from overwriting the previous particle and therefore leave the previous decal and therefore leaving it on the screen as a bugged particle, bugged decal. Even struggling to talk properly tonight. Don't know why. So this is what we're trying to avoid, these particles kind of decals again 3 times in a row now, causing issues around there. So let's have a go. Uh, oh, just to answer the question, I don't know if Jesper's in the stream here now, but I can answer that question now. If not, old school code might hear it. You can pass it on because I can see the chat going on in Discord with the challenge and the letters. What I will do is I will pick a random seed, um, everybody will get the same 3 letters, or same 9 letters, should I say. But I will pick completely around. Nobody's going to know what those 3 groups of 3 letters are going to be. But I will make sure that everybody gets the same 3 letters, so that it's fair. Because otherwise, it wouldn't be fair. I'm going to deliberately pick. I'm going to deliberately pick a seed which gives values which are letters which are both low and high in cycle counts, based on my own code. I don't know what code you guys are going to do. I need to write my own, but it will be, yeah, as old school coder says, it will be the same letters for everybody. So tit wat and cock. uh, oh, that's not worked, has it? That's still left decals hanging around. Sure why. Interesting. Thank you for passing that message on as well, old school coder. It saves me answering it in the chat as well. So but yeah, that's basically how it's going to work. Okay, so some reason it's not quite working there. Hey, Omniscient, 999. No, this is C64. So it's an old game called Cybernoid that somebody did a kind of modern reimagining of, called Cecconoid, and where they released it on Steam and on Switch and on mobile, and we're doing a C64 version of it. It's 6502 assembly language, and it's a lot of fun. Although I am getting to probably the end of the night now, I think. Getting quite tired, so, and we've reached that point as well where we're 5 minutes from the usual end of the stream anyway. So, um, same programmer? No, different programmer. Thank you for the follow, Omniscient, as well. Very much appreciated. Um, okay. Okay, so when I go to add, I check the index. I compare it to the length of the array -1. If it's less than that, we continue. Otherwise, we return. So why is it failing? Why is it failing? It's still drawing them. What if I change this? If I get rid of that, will that work? Maybe it's setting as 0. No, that shouldn't matter. Okay. There's going to be something around this anyway, so. Oh my god, what the fuck? 404, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it will be yet, but it will be using the random seed. So I think at the moment the randomizer is using CIAs or SID noise or something. I can't remember what it's using. It's using something anyway to generate fairly random values for you guys. I'm going to strip it back and make just a simple exclusive or shift randomizer, which will means I can pick a seed which will work for all of you at the same time. I actually need to write that verify. I haven't done that yet. I've got a week and 2 days to do it, so I should probably do that soon. Got the Nexus today as well. Got this month's Nexus delivered today, so looking forward to creating the next Mega 65 coder, and giving them some hardware. Really is one of the most fun things about doing this stream, is giving away that hardware. It really does feel really good to do, and I'm really proud of the stuff you lot create. It's really good, and I think it's really useful for the guys over at Mega 65 to have all this software. As I was saying at the beginning of the stream, having a way to compare emulator against the hardware, having people just basically making stuff as well is just always going to be helpful. So it's really cool. I'm really proud that you managed to do it. So um, how do you plug a joystick into the Nexus? There's a couple of ways. You either need to plug a key rar into it, but that's not That's not the best way at all. Keyrars have got quite a lot of lag on them, and you can't use two joysticks, things like that. Or you can get a widget board, which is specifically designed for the Nexus and the Mega 65, which allows you to plug. I believe it allows you to plug joysticks, and I think it might allow you to plug the C64 keyboard in as well. I can't remember. Deft can probably confirm that if he's still around. Um, and the other option, I think there's some small PMod things that you can do as well, but I don't think there's an official one. I think you'd have to work it out yourself. Um, Kira is fine. I'm counting on it being PK6. Why did PK6 happen, by the way? I'm not sure why that became a thing, but for some reason PK6 became the thing everybody's checking. Okay, this decal stuff is not working. It's kind of working up there, but then it is failing to remove these old ones. Now I can fix that by increasing the number of decals, but I don't want to keep kind of putting them up as well. So I think someone got that randomly and posted the score. PK6 is the industry standard. All right, okay. So you're just doing it to compare. I gathered that's why you were doing it. I was just wondering why it was PK6. So I guess it's just coincidence. It just happens to be um the first one that was posted with cycles. Okay. Okay, I think I'll leave this for next time. So basically we need to figure out, it's probably to do with this bit here. Just need to work out why this is not failing to oh, I'll tell you why, because I've got it the wrong way around. That's why. It's that simple. It's that simple. I got it the wrong way around. Because I only want to continue if the value is more than that thing. If it's less than that, then I need to let me just quickly try this before I finish. I'll find someone to raid while I load this up. I think that's probably it. And if that is, that's a nice complete compact set of bug fixing tonight. If this has worked, I'll be very very pleased. Got things sorted out, finished on a decent kind of position. Don't be mean. Oscar Code is doing well. I think you've done a lot better on this one than I think the last one drove you mad, Oscar Code. I think Kaleidoscope was not your thing at all. Uh, yeah, this is working. In fact, it's not displaying any decals now. Damn it. Okay, so now I'm worried that there's no decals. There are no decals. God damn it. All right, so it's not quite fully ready, but why might that be? Or zero, I guess. So if it's zero, it should be fine as well, I think. Let's give that a quick try. So raid wise, Duke's on, Hungary's on, Hungary's on. We'll probably go and raid Hungary. She's got the least out of those on the list. So too structured in my code in terms to fit. Yeah, you do need to unfortunately for these optimization tasks, you need to write ugly code. There's no way around it, unfortunately. Uh it's really nice having oh, so there is a bit of a glitch there, but it's that color glitching, and I don't know why that's happening. We'll investigate that on the next stream and see if we can figure out why that's happening. Let's just carry on testing this for a second. Yeah, unfortunately, you do have to write nasty code. There isn't really a way around it. Yeah, that's worked perfectly. Look at that. There we go. The decals disappear. Brilliant. Excellent. And I will just turn those loaders. I don't need to actually test this. I just need to turn that screen back on again. Uh, that one there. There we go. There we go. All right, let's raid Hungary. And I shall see you guys on Saturday. Thanks for coming along again tonight. It's been really good. I don't know why the overlay has suddenly gone like that. What the heck? Bit odd. There you go. I have no idea why that happened. Right at the end of the stream anyway, so it's not too bad. Oh my god, I just pressed the fringy button and then lost it again. There we go. Right, let's start the raid. So go and raid Hungry now. She's really good fun. Plays a lot of retro games, a lot of NES games, a lot of SNES games, things like that. And I shall see you all on Saturday where we'll continue Zendar's showdown game and getting it over to the Meg 65. I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait. Also looking forward to the vodka if I'm honest, but you know. All right. Take care. See you on Saturday. And thank you for the follow, LJ Palmer, just as we're about to leave. So take care. Good night.